Good morning. One thing that I've noticed is that people tend to procrastinate on things, and we're going to talk a lot about procrastination in this mini series on time management. For today, what I want to talk about is simply ask you, what is that thing that you typically procrastinate on? What is that thing that if you don't get it done early in the day, it's not going to happen? For me, it tends to be either writing copy for my sales copy or marketing copy. It's a task that if I don't get it done early, it's probably not happening. Another thing is exercise. If I don't exercise early on in the day, most likely it's not happening. So what I consider these things are things that we have emotional baggage connected to, that once we get rolling, we're probably not going back to them. It's too easy to continue in other ways. Brian Tracy wrote a really interesting book called Eat That Frog, where he talks about this concept. And the idea of this is take that task that is difficult, that maybe is something that seems daunting, and do that first. Do it first thing in the morning. When you do it first thing in the morning, a number of things happen. One, we're so much more aware, we're so much more awake, we're so much more engaged and efficient in the mornings. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. But even beyond that, when we do a difficult thing first thing, we get a boost of energy. And when we do something difficult, a little bit difficult, what that does is it gives us confidence. It starts a really interesting momentum in our day where we went, hey, I just did something huge. And instead of relaxing, most people continue that momentum. So I'm going to call this the eat the frog concept, okay? And I do this in many different ways. You don't have to necessarily do it with business type stuff. For me, like I said, exercise, visualization, though those are two big ones for me. One way I consistently do this, especially in the winter, is I take cold showers. And I'm talking about ice cold showers. Now, I have very, very, very quick showers when when they're really cold. Sometimes it's so cold that my scalp goes a little bit numb and tingly. And what I found is that if I take that super, super cold shower first thing in the morning, it only takes me 4 or 5 minutes, however long it takes me. But when I take that extremely cold shower first thing in the morning, I feel like $1,000,000. I feel like I've done something great. Even though it's something small, it feels like I've done something great. And when I feel great about myself, when you can start your day feeling fantastic about yourself, then you will continue the day with momentum, most likely. It's a fantastic way to begin building momentum into your day, into your life. Now, it doesn't have to be the cold shower. It doesn't have to be exercise. It could be writing sales copy or marketing copy. This is what I'd suggest you do. And you're going to hear this concept over and over again because you need to reward yourself and create a dopamine response, a reward cycle response in your brain. Don't worry if you don't know that word. Dopamine is basically the neurotransmitter, the chemical that's released in our brain when we accomplish something and feel good, or even when there's a surprise and we feel good. This is the chemical that's released in our brain that's closely tied to addictions. And the cool thing about this is that you can create your own addictions, positive habits, positive routines that help you. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that whenever you do this, you check it off of some list. If you've got a daily list, you can have a calendar on your wall. There are apps that you can use and utilize. But what I'd suggest you do is you have some way of tracking this, where every day I use a Trello board, which I'll talk about in a later video, where you simply utilize something that tracks whether you've done something or not. And every time you do something, cold shower, exercise, writing a little bit of copy, doing something else that's difficult. Whenever you do this, reward yourself, even by checking it off. By checking it off, again, you're building the momentum, you're building the self-confidence, and you're noticing the things that you're doing. There's a side benefit to that, and that is that you can start to notice patterns in your life. Maybe every Wednesday and Thursday, you're less likely to do something. And you'll start to notice, oh, wait a second, if this is my pattern, I can change it later on. So the first tip for the first video is to simply eat that frog. Do the most difficult thing first. Now, some people ask, what if you've got 2 difficult tasks or 3? Man, like Mark, exercise and cold shower and visualization, and take the one that's kind of the biggest and the baddest, the most difficult, and do that one first. Now, if this is something that takes you hours, that's a different concept, and maybe we can chat about it sometime. Drop me a note somewhere, get in contact with me, okay? But really what we're after right now is to do that difficult thing first, build self-confidence, build momentum, and then move into the day with that momentum. And that's as easy as it is to start building confidence and to start taking action far more frequently in the mornings and get your day off to a great start. Remember, you've got this.